Queer characters have always been a vital part of film and TV history, from coded roles in classic cinema to bold iconic performances in modern media.
I'm a homosexual!
And while representation has come a long way, there are still some harmful stereotypes used, and not just for drama, but as full-blown narrative arcs. Let me preface this video by saying that this is not a cancel culture or Gen Z bruh moment. To be clear, I genuinely can't speak English. To be clear, I have genuinely enjoyed most of the shows and films I'm about to bring up, but I thought it'd be interesting to just take a moment and talk about some of the recurring tropes I've noticed when it comes to queer coded characters in TV and film. So the first trope I'll be talking about is the closeted bully. This is where a character often violently bullies queer peers while secretly being lollipop themselves. Glee is a musical dramedy show about a group of high school misfits who are part of a singing club called Glee. Some join willingly, while others are forced into it by their Spanish teacher, Will Shu. Not a part of the Gleeks, Dave Karofsky is introduced to us as your average, football-playing high school bully. He particularly picks on Kurt Hamill, the first openly gay student we are introduced to in the show. In Season 2, Episode 6, during another physical altercation, in a shock twist, Karofsky plants one on Kurt, much to his dismay. This marks a turning point in Karofsky's character and starts his eternal conflict. He eventually meets a similar fate when he transfers schools, where he is outed and viciously bullied by his new peers. By Season 6, Dave Karofsky emerges as a symbol of growth, self-acceptance, completing a full redemption arc. While some of these types of portrayals show clear accountability and growth from the bully, some stories end in tragedy without these characters going through the much needed healing process. There are no apologies to those they have hurt, necessary therapy, or acceptance for who they are. At times, I think without trying, these arcs often shift focus away from the person that's actually been harmed to the emotional turmoil of the closeted bully. Jumping off the previous trope, it's the same as the closeted bully, but we later discover the bully has been repressing romantic or sexual feelings for the openly queer character. The storyline often pivots from abuse to romance and, quite frankly, frames the bullying as a form of misguided affection. What bothers me most is that these feelings are often reciprocated, which almost normalizes cruelty as part of their love story. Skins is a teenage drama full of angst, bad decisions, and even worse hygiene, which I absolutely loved every second of, apart from that one thing. Maxie is an out and proud, aspiring professional dancer who is bullied by some local boys.
Boy, look out, here comes Batty Boy.
You want to watch it there? We'll slip you a big fat cock.
No fucking way, man.
Cockity cock cock. Or he'll slurp you a big fat cock.
Big fucking cock, yeah. He'll be like, all right, my lover, and then wank you silly all over his face, and he'll be like tying you up and then shoving his big fat cock right up your ass. You'll be able to fucking stop him because it's like fucking torture. You're shrieking and that, you're like...
It's mostly verbal until things exacerbate with the ringleader Dale, when his father makes him apologize to Maxie and his dad.
What you gotta say, dildo head?
Sorry, Mr. Oliver.
And?
Sorry, Max.
He's baked a cake of remorse. Water under the bridge, Pandy. How's the wife? Oh, not bad. They gave her early release. Still gotta wear the electronic tag, of course. Bummer. Yeah. And they banned the fat wife from operating.
Dale and his goons plan a physical altercation with Maxie, but he manages to get away until Dale alone tackles him down and kisses him. Turns out he's gay. Maxie almost calls him out.
Dale, you can't just treat me like shit and then
But then he...
fuck it.
Yeah. This trope was touched on kind of briefly in Season 5 with Frankie and Queen Bee Minnie, who went out of her way to destroy Frankie's life despite being aware of the awful treatment they endured in a previous school.
You promise? Looks like someone will be coming to my party. Shame.
Girl, shut the f up. You thought you ate?
But by the next season, they seem to have completely scrapped the idea and made them both boy crazy instead. Also, sidebar, did anyone else find some of the dialogue in Skins?
You know, when I was 6, teacher asked me to think of something beautiful. I said 9/11. guess that's why my parents gave me up.
I don't know, maybe it's like beyond my level of comprehension, but I refuse to believe I'm the only person that thinks this. Eric is one of the openly gay characters in Moordale Secondary School, and Adam, the son of Principal Groff, bearer of large dong and zero social skills, is the school bully. He antagonizes many students, but particularly Eric, seemingly because of Eric's openness about his sexuality and his flamboyant expression. In episode 1 of the first season, the very first interaction we see between these characters is Eric being verbally
Watch where you're going, fag.
and physically assaulted by Adam. In episode 8, Adam and Eric are serving detention in the music room when Adam gets mouthy with him.
The Bluetooth device.
Then he makes him keep it on the down low. In season 2, when Adam is away in military school, we're introduced to a new character, Raheem. Him and Eric begin dating, but it is short-lived when Adam gets kicked out of military school and Eric begins dating him instead.
I look quite pretty.
Adam also has a redemption arc, and we see him grow and try to develop friendships with the people he used to feel ostracized from.
I can't believe it.
Don't you think it's weird how the last surrogate was never in the show?
Yeah, trigger warning, I'm about to give my opinion. This trope has to be in the top 10 worst arcs for me. When you were younger, did you ever tell a grown up that some kid in your class was bothering you, only to be told, oh honey, they probably just like you? And perhaps that was almost harmless as a kid, but as a young adult, being taught that cruelty is a form of affection can have a lasting effect on how you navigate relationships. I just think the surprise, they were into you the whole time thing is just tired at this point, and these narratives can gaslight people into tolerating mistreatment, encouraging them that being patient with people who harm you can pay off because they might secretly love you. And again, it's shifting focus onto the bully's self-discovery and growth while sidelining the victim's experience. Lastly, not every closeted person is a bully, and not every bigoted prick is secretly gay. Sometimes homophobia is just homophobia. The last trope I'll be talking about in this video is the quote-unquote depraved homosexual. This trope shows queer characters constantly pushing boundaries or hitting on straight people in uncomfortable ways. It makes the repulsion of their straight counterparts the constant punchline. Another one of my faves. In this show, Dean Boxmarch implements major changes to Kappa Kappa Tau by overturning the rules that previously excluded the nefarious likes of ethnics and fatties from joining the sorority house.
Dean Munch and I were talking about how to bring Kappa Kappa Tau into the 21st century.
Let's cut to the chase. This year, Kappa will be required to accept anyone who wishes to become a pledge. The doors are open to the public.
If this is our pledge class, I'm killing myself. And then Munch. Look at them. They're the dregs of society.
During the rush, Sam is introduced by Chanel's narration as
Predatory Les. Real name? Mac or Butch or something. 2 days ago, I caught her staring at my ass on the quad. All that girl's after is a whole lot of bikini burger.
She doesn't have that many speaking scenes for what I remember, but she does say this.
Look, I'm not saying that all heterosexual sex is rape. I'm saying all heterosexual sex is gross. And the deep down, every woman knows this.
Which I think just tells you everything we need to know about her. Don't get me wrong, I know her character is supposed to be a very tongue-in-cheek caricature of masculine presenting lesbians. Also, with the way she's introduced to us through Chanel's lens, I know it's supposed to say more about how Chanel perceives people who are not within her usual social circle, as opposed to painting Sam or queer people like Sam in a bad light. That being said, it doesn't make it any less reductive though.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, I love this movie, and I for sure watched it numerous times, as well as like the other 2 installments. It's feel good, it's funny, the covers are fucking amazing. For those that don't know, Pitch Perfect is a musical comedy that follows the journey of an a cappella group called the Bardem Bellas. One of them is a STEM presenting queer woman named Cynthia Rose.
Whenever you're ready, dude.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Cynthia Rose.
Oh, not a dude. It's not a dude.
And she can sing.
You had your chance to blow it.
But there is this jokey joke that she likes to get handsy with women against their will, so much so that another member of the Bellas blows their rape whistle as she tries to grope her.
Hands off me, Woody! Guys, stop! What is going on?
This moment is played for laughs, but
Let's be honest.
when the only queer rep is someone portrayed as crossing boundaries like that, it does feed into that stereotype that queer people, especially lesbians or mass-presented women, are inherently predatory. Okay, lastly, I'll be talking about House of Gold. Out of everything I've spoken about already, this is the one film I didn't really enjoy. I feel like most, if not all, the people watching may not have heard of this film, but I remember watching it on Roku TV around the time it first became a subscription streaming service. So it's a Ghanaian film with an ensemble of both well-known Nigerian and Ghanaian actors. It has a similar plot to Chief Daddy, where there are a bunch of estranged half-siblings, there's a soon-to-be drop-dead rich father, and then to respect his final wishes, they all have to be under the same roof for some time, etc, etc. Hilarity ensues.
Let me introduce to you
Oh my goodness.
Rufus Dan Hansen.
Sure, it took him quite a while to get here. I've often said the lack of navigation system in the sub-Saharan metropolitan cities of Africa negates the much balloon political propaganda of change in the infrastructural functionality.
One of the half-siblings goes by Peter, and he is the queer-coded representation that us Africans needed. Not. He's presented very one-dimensional and again does not have many speaking scenes, aside from when he's sexually harassing the gate man.
No. Can you help me in my room, massage my waist and what's called? Go back, hot water, they might be a great.
And his own brother, Freddie. This trope plays into the stereotype that being gay means being predatory or not respecting consent, which is so dangerous. It almost makes it easier for homophobic attitudes to seem reasonable, and in extreme cases justifies violence and hate crimes against queer people under the guise of protecting oneself. Think about the amount of times you've heard a delusional straight man think he's suddenly in danger once a gay man is within the vicinity. Like, bro, I promise you that nobody wants your freaking ass moon crater hyper shaped cheeks or your cheese filled balls. Or do you remember the way people were losing their fucking minds at the idea of drag queen story hour for kids? Like, seriously, the most danger a child would encounter at one of these events is choking on glitter or being impaled by a rogue stiletto. I get it, it's a little hee hee haha bit, but it's just another tired stereotype that does not portray the queer rep as fully developed characters. Seriously, out of 3 of the characters I just spoke about, I'm pretty sure I can count on one hand how many talking scenes each of them had. Overall, I know most of the shows and films I've talked about aren't in any way trying to paint queer people in a bad light. But the problem is, they often limit our representation to trauma-based narratives. And just to be clear, I know these kind of stories do happen in real life, and I do believe it's 100% important to tell authentic stories that reflect real struggles, especially around identity and acceptance. But when a character's sexuality is always the gag or a central source of conflict and pain in their story and love life, it can end up sending the message that being queer is a burden or something to be overcome, as opposed to something that should be embraced and celebrated. I think it's good to have these conversations, not just to point out what's not working, but to really think about how we're being represented and how we can start telling new kinds of stories when it comes to queer characters and narratives. Queerness and queer-coded characters deserve space in joyful, messy, complicated, and powerful stories too. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree that these kind of narratives risk reinforcing outdated tropes, or do you believe we still need them to reflect real life struggles? Until next time, where I will hopefully have a better outro. Bye!